what are your expectations from the Supreme Court? I think that'll be it.
So, if history is any guide, I fully expect that the Supreme Court or the Supreme Court panel, the members of the Supreme Court panel are going to be looking for every and any possible way, including the famous technicalities, to find a way to put the kibosh on this. However, what is also true is that I think, legally speaking, the Articles legal team in the US has done a stellar job. If you read through that deposition, I think they did a very good job of closing off all the available loopholes. So, legally speaking, I'm not sure there's any technicality that can be deployed. So, if history is any guide, or well, at least recent history, going by what happened in the appeal court, what I expect will happen will be either of two things. Scenario one is that Nigerians as a whole, the generality of Nigerians, will make their voices very clear and make it impossible for the justices to say that 2 plus 2 is 9. Because what happened in the appeal court was basically that 2 plus 2 was 9, and there was no public response, there was no public reaction, so they got away with it. Because Nigeria is not a country that functions on laws or rules or processes. Nigeria is a country that functions on noise and narrative. So if the noise and the narrative are at a level that makes it possible for the justices to get away with it, then they will get away with it. And obviously, if the noise and narrative are not in their favor, then it's going to be out of their hands. It's going to be beyond them. The second scenario is that they will simply decide that regardless of what the public thinks or does not think, we are going to give the judgment that we want to give. Obviously, we know the judgment they want to give. They have not the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, Kayode Ariwoola, came out a few days ago and made a statement which was, I mean, as far as I was concerned, that was a blatant statement of intent. It was like a manifesto. Speaking to the justices of the Supreme Court, he said the law supersedes public opinion. So it's obvious what he was trying to say. Even if the public consensus is that this person forged a certificate, based on whatever technicalities we're able to dig up, your remit is to deliver on this mandate. Right? That's how I interpreted it, and that's how I think everybody interpreted it as well. So I think it's very clear what the Supreme Court wants to do. I think the Supreme Court does not want to disqualify Tinubu, but in this second scenario where they decide to fly in the face of public opinion, I understand that you guys are regulated by the NDC, so there's a limit to what I can say on air. But let's just say that it's not going to end well for all of us, and I think I'll just leave it at that.
Update. The law supersedes public opinion. It doesn't matter what the public think, even though somebody is doing wrong, and the public really have evidence that this person is doing wrong. The public opinion does not matter. It's the law that matters. So what of the public opinion is talking about the law? That is what the public is yearning for. Is saying that is wrong, and you are saying that it's the law that matters. That means you want to write as justices of this federation to just counter whatever evidence. These are the words of one journalist. Well, now know. Well, now don't already watch David. David is smart too. and he exposed a lot of things. And he talked about forgery, and I'll show now the video as they go. He talked about forgery of Tinubu, and he said this one they clear. This one they clear say now forgery. He not get any other way. Now the better way to take put about forgery way, and it's very clear that Tinubu is guilty of forgery. Forgery. Even talk say theft of identity. When I watch not me talk before somebody will go look for me. They look for Dr. Laughter with DSS. I just want me to just see him because history go record waiting this guy talk, and I want make una watch waiting this guy talk. make una watch wetin this guy talk. It's very important. Every Nigerians una need to listen to this and watch it. And me too, I'm looking for evidence for Mr. President to counter this kind of allegation, forgery allegation. I'm just trying to make sense.
Regarding the actual meat of the issue, once again, I think it's very important that anyone who either wants to offer an opinion on this in public or do an analysis or whatever should actually read the deposition and not read analysis of what people said the deposition said. It's there, it's 100 and something pages, but sit down with it for a couple of hours, you will get through it. First of all, I have to correct you. You said earlier that the university was not categorical in stating whether the certificate was forged. Well, in legal terms, that was as categorical as you can get, because Caleb Westberg, the registrar of Chicago State University, was asked under oath multiple times. This INEC diploma, this diploma submitted to INEC, did it emanate from Chicago State University or not? Is it you or not? And multiple times he gave the same answer. No, we did not issue this diploma. That is as categorical as you can get, because if Chicago State University did not issue a diploma which purports to be from Chicago State University, then what can that possibly mean? That only means one thing: it's a forgery. And as you rightly said, as far back as November last year, I had already done a forensic examination of where exactly this certificate came from, how he got hold of it. I mean, this has been in the public domain for almost a year, right? In fact, as I'm sure you're aware, if you take a hike around, Twitter, social media right now, you're going to see dozens of people with almost identical certificate templates, designed in funny ways. So you will see Chicago State University, under the authority of blah blah blah, awards you a degree in shoe shining, blah blah blah, and then the person's name. That's because you can go to this platform and other platforms like it and design this thing, right? I put this out as far back as last year, and Caleb Westberg couldn't have been more categorical. He was asked under oath, did this emanate from Chicago State University or not? Did you issue this certificate or not? He said, no, we did not. So again, if anyone feels the need to offer a defense of Tinubu, like, this is pretty much indefensible, but if you're trying to offer a defense, I think the first thing you can do is at least read the thing that you are trying to base your defense on, so that you don't, because I don't think I've spent up to 2 minutes completely deconstructing the entire argument. I need more of a challenge, to be honest. So people should actually read this thing before reacting to it or offering opinions based on it.